Hello everyone, Jackson Gomez here, and I hope you're all fine. Today I'm bringing to you my presentation, Beautifying IntraWeb Applications with Bootstrap. I will talk a little bit about Bootstrap later on this presentation, but as a quick definition, Bootstrap is a framework for building responsive websites and web apps front ends. Our agenda for today: I will give you a brief overview about IntraWeb, and I will give you also a brief overview about templates in IntraWeb, and also a quick Bootstrap introduction. In our main focus today, I will show you how we can apply Bootstrap on our IntraWeb application, how we can make our web apps made with IntraWeb follow the current standards regarding user interface and look a little bit more modern. Our intention today here is not present you a full course on in Bootstrap and IntraWeb, okay? But what I want here today is to show you the first steps and a kind of how-to, or how I personally approach it. At the end of this presentation, we will see how we can transform a very simple IntraWeb application in terms of user interface to a more modern looking one after using Bootstrap, okay? And a little bit about me. My name is Jackson Gomez, as I already said before, and I'm a Bachelor of Computer Science, and I graduated at the Universidade Federal de Viçosa in Brazil, 1995, a long time ago. And I'm with Delphi since 95 as well, and I'm the author of the user security component. Hope some of you are my customers as well. And I'm with IntraWeb since 2005. And I'm working with A to Z since 2007. And I work on the IntraWeb development team until 2012. And since then I am an IntraWeb evangelist and support. So, let's talk a little bit about IntraWeb. IntraWeb is literally the VCL for the web, okay? This has been the IntraWeb motto and goal since the beginning, to make web development as simple as desktop development for Delphi and C++ builder developers. Any developer can create a browser-based app with IntraWeb, and I take myself as an example. It was in 2005. I was only doing the classic client-server desktop apps and also using a bit of Midas at the time. There was this company, they wanted a web app to sell marbles and granite slabs online. And it was me, only me, versus a big development company. They were using ASP.NET at the time. I haven't used IntraWeb before that day. I think I remember I just saw the demos but haven't used it, and I built a prototype in 3 days and I got the gig, I got the job. So here at the right you can see the screenshot of the application that I built at the time. I was using templates. It's very simple because my web design skills were not so great, still not so great, but the main point is without knowing IntraWeb and just trying to work with it, I was able to build this prototype in 3 days and I got the job. Okay, and when we develop a web app, we are talking always about back-end and front-end development. Not always, but in general. As we know, there are tons of tools in the market for web apps development, and also there are several roles. Like, for example, you have back-end developers, front-end developers, web designers, full-stack developers, etc. And what about web development with IntraWeb and Delphi? Where does it fit? With Delphi and IntraWeb, what we have? We have a very powerful back-end powered by Delphi, plus the IntraWeb back-end core. And also we have a very flexible front-end powered by IntraWeb front-end core, plus any user interface web framework of your choice. When we use Delphi and IntraWeb for web development, we have both sides covered pretty well. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about templates in IntraWeb. A template in IntraWeb is basically an HTML file that's used to customize the UI of your IntraWeb app. Generally, you have a template for every form of your app, and also you can have a template for every frame too. Using HTML and Cascade.js and some custom JavaScript on your template, you can design the UI of your app in any way you want. As a possibility, the use of template allows you to outsource the design of your UI, and also you can buy pre-designed ones. This allows you to concentrate on the app itself and not to worry too much about the UI. You can use third-party libraries like data tables, jQuery, and others. You may need some custom code to integrate these libraries to your app, but there are no limits here. With templates, you can also customize the visuals of your app to each individual client that you have. That's a good thing. And I did that before when I wrote that application that I showed before. I had several customers as clients, and I needed to customize the interface for each one of them. IntraWeb's templates are extremely flexible. Okay, you can integrate them with any UI framework, even if there's a new one that's going to be created. Like for example, Bootstrap was created way after IntraWeb, and we can integrate Bootstrap with IntraWeb with no problems. We're going to show here today. And as IntraWeb outputs standard HTML controls like text, inputs, checkboxes, radio boxes, buttons, and tables, etc. Applying modern UI frameworks to these standard HTML controls, we're going to have stunning user interfaces. Can I build a UI like this one using IntraWeb plus templates plus any UI web framework? Yes, you can. It seems a little bit intimidating at first, especially if you haven't done any web stuff before, but it does not take too long to understand the hows and build some confidence. Okay, don't worry too much. It seems a bit scary, but I guarantee you, at the end of the day, you're gonna see that's very simple. Let me show you some templates applied to an application I'm currently working on. On the left, you can see the design time of my login form, and on the right, you have a Bootstrap template applied to it. Here I have another screen. This, in this case, is a form. It's a frame that's embedded in another form. And here we have the same screen with the template applied. In this case here, I have two templates, one for the menus and one just for this table here. In this case is a data table and the filter options and the other buttons here. Okay, let's talk about Bootstrap then. I'll be very brief. Okay. Bootstrap is an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript library. It's a framework directed at responsive mobile-first front-end web development. And Bootstrap contains Cascade style sheet and optionally JavaScript-based design templates for typography, forms, buttons, navigation, and other interface components. Bootstrap provides basic style definitions for all HTML elements that results in a uniform appearance across the web browser. This is one of the main advantages of Bootstrap. It's because your interface is very consistent. And Bootstrap's free and open source, and Bootstrap 5 is the current version. Let me show you some examples of Bootstrap pages. This is a form with fields. This is a dashboard-like interface. This is a framework that I found yesterday. I was looking at frameworks. And Bootstrap is one of the most used UI frameworks. And there are infinite numbers of resources available on the web. You can find literally zillions of templates. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but usually these templates are very cheap. You pay like $10 or $15 or $20, and the most expensive ones you're gonna pay like $70 for one user. And usually you're gonna find templates for every need, and can save you a lot of time when you're thinking about the UI of your app, because you look for the template that fits your need, you buy it, and then you apply for your app. Saves you a lot of time. Okay, let's go do some real work now. Okay, we want to apply a Bootstrap template on an IntraWeb app. With this in mind, I rebuilt the Fish Fact demo app and adding a few extra forms just for demonstration purposes. Okay, let's have a look at how our Fish Fact demo is right now. I added a login form to our app. Okay, and I didn't do anything here. I didn't worry about the design, and just added a grid and some options to view the data. I also updated the fish images, because the original ones were pretty outdated. So I think it deserved new images. Okay, so I added some functions here, like view random image, and you can view all the fishes at once, blah blah blah. So as we can see, it's not very appealing, but we can improve that. Okay, so next I'm gonna show you how we can apply a Bootstrap template to this app. And let me show you the template that I'm gonna work with. Okay, I downloaded this template on this website here, startbootstrap.com, and this template's free. There's a paid version of this template that costs $29, but I decided to stick with this one. And let's see what we can do. Okay guys, after downloading and unzipping our Bootstrap template, we need to copy the template files to two different folders. Okay, let's first understand what is the content of this template. Usually you're gonna find a folder structure like this one, like Cascade style sheets, images, JavaScript, and other files, and some other third-party files as well. And in the template file, you're gonna find a lot of example pages like this one. We don't need to worry about these on the red. We need to worry about these ones here on the blue square, because these files are needed for when you deploy your app, and also for when you are designing your templates. Okay, so we need to copy these, in our case, these 5 folders here, first to our template folder, the IntraWeb template folder, and also we need to copy these files to our www root folder. I will show you here what I have. This is my folder. My application is here. Let me show you this one. My templates are here on this folder. Okay, so I have all the templates here because I did this. I was implementing this before, so I already have it done. So my templates are here, and all these files, you can see these 5 folders, they are here. And I have an extra one that's mine, that's images. And also I need to deploy it to under the www root folder. Here we are. So when you deploy your app on your server, you need to have these folders here, so your templates can work fine. Okay. And this one here, why we put it here? Because when you are designing your templates, they will behave correctly. So for example, when you put an image or when you put a menu, your Bootstrap template will react accordingly. Okay. Okay guys, the first template we are going to work on is the login template. Our original Bootstrap template package that we downloaded before has a login page, so I want to use it as a base for our login template. Okay, so we can simply copy it from here, copy the file from here to our template folder, our IntraWeb template folder. We're gonna uppercase this. Okay, let's open it on this HTML editor. It's called Coffee Cup. It's free, and the main reason I'm using this one is because it has a live preview. If you press F12, it opens the live preview here. It even respects links, like for example, if I click here, it's gonna go to an invalid page because it just copied one page. In this case, you just need to reload, press F12 again. Okay, we have the dog here, and we want to change it to something more related to our app. In this case, something related to fish. And let's find out how we can do that. One thing good about this editor is that every time you click on the control, it highlights the control on your code, on your not code but on your HTML page. Okay. If I say that HTML is a programming language, people are gonna kill me because it's not, right? Okay, let's click on the dog image and see what we have here. See, the dog image is on a div, and usually I was expecting to see image reference here, but you don't have image reference. You just have some CSS classes here, and it's probably this one that's detecting our image, and this class is probably defined on our CSS. Let's have a look here. You see that this template package has two CSS files here, but they are the same. One is the minified version, that's just a little bit smaller. See, the 167 to 07, but the difference is very small. So let's open the normal version here and see if we can find what this BG login image says to us. Okay. The class name is BG login page. So let's have a look here. As we can see here, the BG login image, sorry, class has a background. That's the dog image is coming from this URL, and there are some other settings here. And what we want to do in this case is to replace the dog image to something different. We can replace it here on this or CSS file, or we can replace it on our template as well. We better replace it on the template. I'm just gonna copy it here and go to our template, and we are gonna open a new session here. We call style. And we are paste this. Okay, and now we just need to replace this URL with something different. Here I already have an image. It's called fishes, and then I'm gonna replace it here. Images fish. Okay, and let's see what happens. Here we go. So I just replaced our dog image with some fishes from an aquarium probably. And next The next thing we're going to do is to reference this template in our app. Let's open the file 11 here, and I have my login form here and our template processor, and just need to type the template name here on this property. Okay, let's execute it and see what happens. Okay, our fish is here, our fishes are here, and now we need to add reference to our controls. We're gonna replace the default controls with our controls from our login page. Okay, the first control will be this one here, the username. So we simply copy the control name. Let's go back to our template. I want to put it here in the same place as this one, and let's do it. First, we use the IntraWeb tags. Okay, the control reference is already here, and now what I want to do is I want to use the same classes that this control here is using. So I'm gonna delete this that I don't need, and then I'm gonna simply copy all the properties that are defined there. Just remember to remove the HTML tags as well. I'm gonna place these values within the IntraWeb tags as here. Okay, don't worry about what shows here because it hasn't been processed yet. For coffee cup, this is just plain text. Okay, one thing that we need to pay attention here is the ID, because sometimes a template package can reference their own components with IDs, so you need to remove it. Never leave these IDs here, otherwise your app you're not going to work, because IntraWeb also use the IDs and won't be able to find the components when, for example, when you click or when you type something. So we remove the IDs. Okay, let's save it. Then let's test. Let's run our app. Okay, here we have our IntraWeb control, and as you can see here, that's ABC, because on my code I already added ABC to the text property. But we have one thing here, so that you can see that the control size is a little bit different than the original one. Why this is happening? It's because IntraWeb is rendering the styles for this control. So we need to disable the styles. For example, the size. It's because it's rendering the size here, the style render options. Here I need to disable some of these. So I'm going to select all the controls at the same time, and I'm going to disable all the styles that I don't want. Padding, position, size, and I'm going to leave these three ones here, especially the visibility, because if you turn off the visibility when you turn a component visible or invisible on your code, is not going to work. So you also need you always need to leave this one, render visibility on. Okay, let's try again. Perfect. So our IntraWeb component is behaving the same way as the original one. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is complete the work for the other controls, the password and the login button. And I'm going to remove these options here because I don't want that. And I'm going to replace the caption here. I'm going to do it and I'll come back later. Okay, I already did the same for the other controls here. Here we have the login. Here we have the password. And I also did the same for the login button, for the bottom. See, the same thing as I did for the first one. I did the same here. I put the component name reference. I am using the same classes. I remove the ID, etc., etc. And let's test it. Cool. Our fish fact login page is ready. I'm gonna remove this. You see here, this enter your username and password. You don't need to put the labels here. It's because it's native on Bootstrap. It's this property here. Let's see. It's called placeholder. See? Placeholder. Enter your username and password. It's the same text that's here. So if I press the login button, it's gonna say invalid username or password. If I type ABC and ABC, let's debug this. Okay, login, debugging. So I have a check login here that does nothing but just compares. Compares the if the username and password are the same. So login, okay, and then we're gonna open the main form. Okay. Nice. So our login page is ready. Now we need to work on the main form. And for the main form, I want to use as a base the index template, index.html from the template package. That's this one, right? What we're gonna do is simply copy this index file here to our template folder, and I'm gonna rename it main form, and then we're gonna open it on our coffee cup editor. Just a second. Here we go. Okay, what we're gonna do here is to cannibalize this template and remove everything that we don't want. Let's start changing the title of this page. First thing I want to do here, it's fish fact Bootstrap demo. Okay, and other thing that I want to do is I want to change this wink here and the title, this other title here. Let's click on the wink. It has a link. Okay, it's pointing to a link, so it's not opening. So we open it with F12 again. Bootstrap uses something called font awesome. I think you guys know about it, and every icon here has a proper name. In our case, we're gonna use the fish. Cool. And also I want to change this. See, SB admin. I want to change it to fish facts. Cool. It's already there. Other thing that I want to do here, I want to place my menu options on the side. Okay, you see here there are some options here. I don't want to use it. I want to use the same structure. The first thing I'm going to do is to delete this dashboard thing here. I don't want that. It's here. See, the good thing about this templates that they have a lot of comments, so you can localize yourself pretty quickly here. Disappeared. And I want to remove this 1, 2. Okay. Now I'm going to change the name of this one here. I want to call it options. And it's saying here custom components. I want to remove this one too. It's here. And the other one also has another custom utilities. I want to remove this one too. It's here. Okay. I also want to remove the other parts here. I don't want this. Add-ons, page, charts, blah, blah, blah. Let's remove it. I'm gonna disappear for a while, then I'll come back with everything deleted, okay? Okay, after deleting all the things that I didn't want on my sidebar, I have the options here and utilities, and I just left this option that toggles the sidebar. Now I'm gonna add my menu options here. How can we do that? If we click here, see that we have this line here, and we simply need to add the reference for our links, because in my case here, let's open my form, main form, where are you? Here. Okay, my components are links. Okay, let's do the first one. So let's copy the control name and put it in our template. In this case here, you want to use the same class as the menu option. And we put it here. And let's do the same for the other menu option. Okay, one thing that we need to remember in my case here is that my links, they are within the region, so I need to put the region reference as well. Okay, save and let's test. Login. So here we have our two links that are transformed into menu options. Let's see what happens if we click here. Perfect. It opens the form for us. We still need to adjust a few things, but it's working. Now let's add the last option. That is link view all images. They will be here. See, we have 4 options here, but when you want to delete all these 4 options, okay. Just gonna copy from here and replace the component name, and we are done. Let's test it again. Login. Cool, it's here. Now what we need to do is to delete all these other things that we don't want. In our case, I just want to use one of these boxes here that in Bootstrap is called cards, because they make the interface a little bit more organized and smooth. So I want to do that. Okay, I'm gonna delete all these other things and just gonna keep one of these boxes here. So let's click on this bar here. See, I already selected on our template. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this up, and then coming back next. Okay, after cleaning everything that I don't want, what is left is some divs, and the main part that we want is this one here. You guys remember that I told you that I wanted to keep, let me open the index here. I wanted to keep this box here in particular because I want to put everything inside it. So I kept that. It's this one here. And now what we need to do is to start referencing our other forms here. How we're going to do that? If I go back to my application here, you see I have a frame that's, I called my main frame here, our GN main, and every other frames are rendered here. So when I execute, let's open here my command. Okay. See, I have always have a frame that's active, this one, and every time I create a frame, I show this frame on this region here. So this is a procedure that I did before, and we don't need to understand what's happening here. It doesn't matter right now. But every time a new frame is created, it will be rendered here on this main frame. So what we need to do is to add the reference to this region here on our template. We simply do that by typing the IntraWeb tags and RGN main. Is this the name? Correct. RGN main. Okay. But what we want is because our regions they are also divs. I don't want to use the div from the original template. I want to make my region as this div here. So I'm gonna delete this div here, and I'm gonna copy the class and put it here and just delete. Okay. I also want to add some styles that I found before. So I want this region here to the height will be 100% of the viewport, and this tag here is just as an override for cascade style sheets. Okay, let's try it. This one I don't want to. It's gonna delete. Okay, let's execute our app. Login. Now, so let's try to execute our first command. Perfect. See, our frame is here. Still using the old visuals, but it's already here. It's working as expected. Okay. Next step is to adjust this list. Okay, let's do it on our app. The first thing that I want to do is to adjust, because this is a region, and when I create a new frames, another region, I want to disable a few things there as well. Because do you guys remember we disabled the styles on our items here? Okay, let's do the same for our region, because I don't want IntraWeb emitting the styles. We can do that on our frame, on our custom frame, because all other frames are inherited from this one. So I just select the region here, and I want to disable absolute, border, font, padding, position, size. The other ones I'm gonna leave. Okay, and we can do some customizations on our list. Is this one? This is the frame that we saw before. First thing I want to do is the same thing: disable the selecting the grid, and then disable the styles that I don't want. And then this is one way of doing it. Okay, I'm doing it on the app. I'm gonna apply some Bootstrap styles or classes on this grid. How we do that? There's a property called CSS, and then I'm gonna type table. On Bootstrap, the class for tables is just plain table. And also there is some classes that are the two classes that makes the table occupy all the screen. It's called H100 and W100. So this will make my grid occupy all this screen. And you guys remember there are some buttons there as well. What we need to do is to apply Bootstrap styles to these buttons. These buttons are created at runtime here. So let's do it. CSS. So how can we find out what classes we are going to put here for my button? Oh, let's go to internet. Let's type Bootstrap button. Here we have the Bootstrap buttons, and these are the classes that are available. So I want to use this one, the primary one. So I copy this here, btn primary, and then I'm gonna place it on my code. Perfect. Other thing that I need to do here as well is disable the styles for these buttons. I'm gonna copy and paste some code here. This is how I disable the styles for this button. I just need to add use AW types, okay? Because you see it's won't compile, so just add AW types here. Perfect. And because we have two buttons, I'm gonna copy the same code here. I could reuse this code because they are the same, but I just choose to repeat. Okay. Let's test it. Login, fish list. Cool. So here we have our grid with Bootstrap applied and our buttons as well. You see that the buttons are a little bit bigger. We can adjust the size of these buttons as well. Let's have a look at our Bootstrap page. See if there's any tag that we can use. See, that's this one here. We want the button small, so we just need to copy this class and go back to our code and put it there. Come on. Again. It's a little bit smaller, okay? Perfect. Okay, guys. Now we see this scroll bar here. It's not part of the frame, but it's part of the whole page. We can disable this. For this, we need to add the tag in our body. Let's go back to our template. Yeah, I already copied it here. So if I do style overflow hidden, I'm gonna hide my scroll bar. Let's refresh. Okay, so our scroll bar is hidden and perfect. And next, I wanna work on this page here of fish. Okay, it's not showing right now because we don't have a template for that, and our application is requesting a template. So let's work on this one now. I want to use a different approach this time. I want to create a template for that frame. It's this one here. So this frame has a grid and a button here. So we need to do the same thing, okay? We need to disable the styles for both. I selected both components here. Size. And I'm gonna create a new page here on my coffee cup. New HTML page. Then I'm gonna save it on my folder. Here. gonna call this template fish list HTML. Okay. What I want to do here is use the same box that we have on the original template. This one. I want to use this one. Okay. So I have copied the code before, and what I'm gonna do is just paste it here on my fish list HTML. Just to make things easier, and then I'm gonna explain what I did here. So that box here is using this particular class, card shadow MB4, and this one here at the top is this one, and I just placed my button here because our button is on the region as well. I need to reference the region. Okay, so that's why we have region 1 btn close. And the same thing, I want to apply the Bootstrap classes for the button and btn primary, and for our grid, wdb grid 1, I want to put the same as before, class table w100 and h100. Okay. Now we just need to reference our template here. Fish list HTML. Let's test it, see if it's gonna work. Login, utilities, view of fish images, go. So it works. Dun, dun, dun. And our button is here, and our grid is here. Okay. Now you see the images, they are different sizes, and if we try to resize the browser, the images, they don't change size. Is there any way that we can improve that? Yes, there is. Bootstrap has a class for that, and the class name is img fluid. So what we're gonna do is we go, okay, let's close it here first, and let's open our app, because our images, they are created at runtime as well. We need to add some code here. So I'm just gonna paste the code lines that we need. In our case, it's the same thing, the CSS class or the CSS property. Then I'm gonna put image emg fluid, and then I'm using the class w100, so because I want the image to spread horizontally, so the width will be 100%. And also we need to disable the styles for this image as well. So let's test it. Okay, so here we are. The images now, they have the same size. What happens now if I resize the browser? So they are responsive as we want. Okay, this is important because if you open this on a mobile phone, the images will resize accordingly to the device size. Okay, what's next? The next thing that we need to do is to work on the fish image. Let's click here, this one. See, it's not showing yet, and even the random is not showing. We need to fix that. We need to add a template for this frame. Let's do it. What we're gonna do is to copy the template for fish list, and we're gonna rename it for fish image. Okay, and we just need to replace the components. 1 second. Here, fish image. we have, let's go to our frame and see what we have there. Fish image here. So we have a button and we have image as well, but in this case they are not, our close button is not in the region, it's just in the plain region of the grid, of the frame. We need to disable the classes, the style rendering, same thing, and this one is btn close, just need to remove it. The other one is image fish, just need to replace it here, and we don't need the table because it's not a table. And we need to add the EMG fluid. We want the horizontal one, EMG fluid. Okay, now we just need to reference the template here. What's the name again? Fish image HTML. And let's test it. If we use the random image, it's working as expected. Close. Same thing, if we resize the browser, is responsive. If we go here and view image on the grid, it shows our image as we expected. Cool. And now the last thing, that's the data. We want to view the data for the fish. That's this frame here. Okay, we haven't done this one yet, and this is the next step. For this one, I used a template from the Bootstrap page. It's this one, the checkout one. And what I did is I just chose view page source, and I copied that, and then I rearranged in the way that I wanted. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show the frame, the template ready, so we don't waste much more time here. Okay. So here I have my fish data HTML template, and it's already built. I put the fish icon here. Font awesome has these tags here that you can change the size. For example, 10. If I want the 10, it increases the size. I'm leaving it as 5. I change the title, and for every component that I have on my form, I put then the reference here, and there is a unique class for these controls that is called form control. You don't need to add another one. And on my form here, I just need to reference my template. Let's do it. The template name is fish data. Okay, fish data.html. Let's see if it's gonna work. Login, options, fish list, and view data. Cool. Here we have our fish data. One thing that we forgot, again, it's to disable the styles. Okay, let's do it, because you see the controls are smaller. Let's do it. Let's select all the controls here. Disable the styles. And leave the visibility and status on. Again. Here we go. We have our controls in the size that we want, and the button as well. And I put some image at the bottom just for back, view data, back, and it's working. Okay. And one small detail that I want to add here on our templates. It refers to the toggle button. So if we click here, the sidebar collapses and we see our menu here, but it's not working. See that if we click, it's not working. This is because of the Z index or Z index. We need to add a Z index higher than the ones that we have here, because IntraWeb puts the Z index as 1100, and we need to put it for a higher value for these items here. So let's do it on our template. Main template here. So click on the option, and we add here on the nav item, and this one as well. Save, then we refresh, and we close it, and we have it working again. Perfect. One thing that I want to tell you guys, one extra thing that's important that I forgot to talk about this before. We need to, on our templates, we always need to reference the Bootstrap files. And this is done usually on the head section. You see like some links here. This is coming from the template that I downloaded. And also at the bottom here, you see the reference to the Bootstrap scripts and the other files. Some here are extra because we are not using the shard and other stuff, but you can leave it here if you want. Okay, then we have completed our task. We have our fish fact revamped and working as expected. I hope you guys have enjoyed this this presentation. And it took was a little bit longer than I was expecting, but there was a lot of details that I wanted to add. And okay, thank you guys very much for your attention. And again, sorry for the long presentation. I think it was a little bit long. And the source code for this presentation will be available somewhere. I don't know exactly where yet. The link will be put. And I want to make it available on my personal repository. If you want to get this link from me, just drop me a message. Otherwise, follow what Jin is going to tell you guys. And that's it. Again, thank you very much, and I hope you have enjoyed. And if you have some questions, please let me know. I hope I can answer them. Otherwise, guys, see you around. Bye-bye.